Welcome to the Rugby Bits podcast. And today there's only one place to start, and that is the historical Springbok women. First time that they've made a World Cup knockout round. They're in the quarterfinals. Congratulations to Nosindo Boy, Swys de Bruin, and the whole Springbok women setup for making it. They beat Italy for the first time. They qualify for quarterfinals for the first time. They kept the Springbok men's tradition of putting up our heart rates during the weekend also. And
On a Sunday in a World Cup. It's like forever.
yeah, so I'm sure there's going to be another notification from Discovery saying like South Africa's heart rates were at 119 beats per minute or something like that. Well, I'm joined by Kooks and Shaun. Guys, I'm not even sure where to start. I think just in terms of just, yeah, expressions of just pride, of just, I'll start with you, Kooks, about, this team making it because I think even 3 years ago when things were starting to get together, when Lynn Cantwell was getting involved and like there was more of a structure and a setup to the women's game in South Africa, like making a quarterfinal a few years later, I don't think that was on the cards. And now, we broke into the top 10 as well with this. So that's just an amazing result for women's rugby in South Africa.
No, incredible. Kind of feels like the rising of like a sleeping giant in terms of women's rugby. You look at South Africa. Like, I mean, obviously the men's side gets all the attention, but I mean, there's about time that the women's side have also getting all that love. It's been a journey that didn't start when Sway's got there. Obviously, you mentioned like the little cat was getting there, and I mean, you look at the last World Cup we're in as well. Like we had great sort of individual moments, like in the Heles, the Babalwa Latsha, and the Nadine Roos, and like we all felt like we do have some of players that who can compete with some of the best in the world, and you're almost the streets one forget sort of side, like guys like Hele and Nadine Roos, and then now, for me, like you look at the try we scored, Malinga's try, that set piece, it just shows how far along that we've come, in terms of the style of play that we play, and also that we're building sort of like depth, like what we didn't have, where Swayze is now able to sort of make three or four changes in the back line. And then someone else comes in, Qawe comes in, makes a big impact, and then so like, it's just Torste comes in at 9, and then Nadine goes to 15, and some of the options that say that Swys de Bruin is playing with. So it's an incredible story. The emotions they're in, told the story, tells the whole story about it and the journey. Coach Swayze and his team have been incredible. I mean, Swys de Bruin, we did the Lions, but I feel like in terms of backline coach, but his coach is also with the Springbok women's side, like from when they start to where they are, like the rugby, the way they play, the tempo in which they play, and the try we scored against Brazil. I mean, Hele's hat-trick try. I mean, there's a slow-mo in the week about it. It just shows how far we've come in broken play and things like that. And set piece as always, we still got a fantastic scrum. And a year ago we lost this Italy side in WX2, and then we go and win them. And it could have been by more. I mean, obviously we made it a bit closer than we could have liked. And I still feel like there's still so much growth in this women's side. As good as we've been, like I still feel like we're scratching the surface. I definitely think we're going to give France a big run for their money this weekend. Confidence-wise, we are flying, but just incredible. I mean, yes, the Springboks. I think this is probably the rugby story of the year in South Africa. I think it's incredible to get our women's side in their first ever quarterfinal, and for us, the exciting thing is like it's only up from here. We've seen the money that SA Rugby sort of pumped in and the development they sort of pumped in, and now it's easy to attract sort of more sponsors, especially the Women's World Cup. The amount of eyes have gone in the tournament, and now we got a side that's doing well as well. So it's just incredible.
Shaun?
Sure. I can't really add, but I'm gonna try. Man, it's like it was out of this world. Like it's so nice for us to watch rugby and like honestly be the underdogs, and it felt like it felt like 2010 again, like when we host the Soccer World Cup and like we know that we can maybe cause an upset and do something, but we just hope that we perform according to how we maybe a little bit above to the way we normally are. And in the rugby spaces, we want to win everything, and just seeing everyone like firstly understand how the women's game has been and where we like sort of situated, but also realize and recognize the change that has happened. Like, man, it was amazing. It was out of this world. And I remember a while back when Swys, I think it was Swys, said that they're targeting Italy. Like, they know that Italy is the game they have to win if we are to progress. So I think the draw helped us really nicely, having Brazil first and then Italy. Like, we got to kind of get a little bit of the nerves out the way. And I'm sure we're going to dive deep into the game and the players, but man, like, it's my heart is so full. It was so amazing to watch, and the new heroes that are being born, new players that become household names now, and who never were there really. Like, it's so cool. And Kooks mentioned like just a handful of players from the World Cup in New Zealand. Like, we saw the talent, we saw what we've got, and now to build on that, it's flippin' epic. And I think we're just scratching the surface, because with the Bulls being pro, I think Boerland are there-ish. I don't know if it's only the Bulls, but the Bulls women are pro, the Daisies. And we like, if we can get a little bit more into this, we've got a whole new avenue, because this Women's World Cup is reaching new people in different ways. Like, I was trying to explain to my brother, like, there are positions, the rugby field positions are all the same, but there are, like, in the women's game, like, the tight head prop has a different role almost on the field. It's quite interesting. Like, there are players with their numbers on their back that are doing stuff different to what we've seen the Springboks and the men's test game. And there's such vibes. Like, you're losing by 60, 70 points, and you kick a penalty and everyone goes mad because, like, they're so glad that you scored your first points. Brazil scored an absolute screamer of a try yesterday, but it's their first try ever in the World Cup. Like, that's all everyone's talking about. No one cares that France won by a million. Like, that's what's so cool.
Yeah. And I think it speaks well to the setup that, I mean, Italy was fourth in the Six Nations this year. They beat Scotland. Scotland is another quarterfinalist, and they've been playing well. They beat Wales as well. And we pretty much, at least stats wise, there's a lot of control that the bulk team had. Like, they made the most chances, they made the most entries into the 22. Sorry about that. They were the team that was setting the agenda. Obviously, that also comes to just having, it was almost like best forwards versus best backs in some ways. But I mean, it's just also the evolution in our game that, we scored some screamers of tries, and I think we can start going through a few of them, because it just showed, I think, even like someone like, I think Libbie, I mean, I don't watch every week, and I know, like, she does great things even for the Daisies, but it feels like Libbie Janse van Rensburg, the player I saw in 2022 and the player I'm seeing in 2025, is just a much more confident player that is able to sort of run the game herself, that is able to, either with a kicking or passing or, a dummy and a run, is able to sort of assert herself. Whereas maybe 3 years ago, it felt like it was almost like give it to either our big centers or to Nadine Roos for her to find the gap. So now it feels like more players are getting that confidence. But let's start with that first try. Kooks, this is almost less about Hele's carrying. It was just how quick she is off the mark was really frightening. I don't know how she just gets the ball and she's pretty much by the try line before Italy has a chance to turn around.
Yeah, she's got, I mean, obviously, like, like, in terms of the sheer power, and obviously, like, and size, but it's funny how quickly she gets with the mark. Like, she's like, I think she catches opponents off guard, because, like, you blink, she's like, she turns away, or, like, you look, she's literally, like, in your face. You're like, oh, geez, like, she's already here carrying. But first of all, it was a fantastic scrum. I still love the fact that even in the women's game, we can still assert our dominance at scrum time as well. So that was for me was a brilliant start. And early on, I think for me, Thala, that first try, it kind of still settled the nerves, because I think everyone going in the game, I think all the girls, I mean, for 2 years they're speaking about, and the whole country's like, okay, we need to get through this Italy game. And then, and it's weird, like, I mean, Thala, we're big football fans, so we're used to this whole three sort of matches in a pool sort of set up. We're like, oh, win two, you go through. But it's like a part of me, like, I forgot, like, I was thinking of the men's World Cup, and, like, I'm like, okay, if we lose to Italy, we still another two more pool games, and I was like, oh shit, we have one left. So like this actually becomes, and then Hele and the scrum kind of sets the tone early. Yeah, that was a brilliant scrum. I mean, Hele is, I mean, she's turning into a bona fide superstar if she's not already.
Yeah.
And like it's just like even like a couple 4 years ago in the last World Cup when we played against England and SARS like that, she still caused damage against them as well, and now she's only gotten better. So after spending some time in the Premiership, so no, it was a brilliant start.
Yeah, I hope she. I mean, I know she was with Harlequins. I think her contract finished last year, so hopefully she can sort of continue that. Shaun, then try number two is the Libbie dummy. That yeah, I mean, I even bought it. I thought she was going to pass. It seemed like everyone thought she was going to pass, and then she comes through 2-on-1, puts wrist through for the try. That was also really good.
Libby, if you had to just watch that highlight, like that's how Libby was playing the whole game. Everything to her, it just looked like it was like heads up rugby. So she was really just getting that ball and then seeing what's happening, who's shooting, who's doing what, and I'm gonna just execute around if you make an error. And she was ridiculous. Like there were plenty dummies, there were plenty short passes into space. One of the best games from a women's 10 I've seen in a long time. Probably one of the best directing games of a 10 in a very, very long time. Like it was like she was in complete control, but it was amazing. Like to do that, have that, and then you've got Roos in a little bit of space. It's points. The only thing you got to make sure is that you make a decent pass. But Libby was she barring at the end, not at the end, but there was that kick, that penalty kick to touch that Italy knocked on that we got horribly short. I just think she was like super tired. Like it was a pretty intense game. But barring that, like Libby was in complete control. She was just 5 seconds ahead of everyone. She had all the time in the world to do what she needed to do, and everyone was on the same page. It was amazing. It was such a good try. Like to see that, and the angle I was watching at live, most of us, like when that Italian defender like shot up, and then you're like, oh, there's going to be an intercept, and she's like, nope, I've got this, and then she goes through, and you're like, ooh, we're on.
And also, Sharky, what I love the most as well, like with Libby, Thala touched on it. I mean, and then you touched on how good she was. It just gives this backline so much more balance if Libby's playing well, because Libby's a different type of 10 to most of the women's 10. She's a bit bigger than most as well. So she's got like
She's got a great carry.
yeah,
Like she's got that kick pass run vibe about
yeah.
her, which is awesome.
And I think the nice thing is that she's always had sort of the kick part and the pass part, but now sort of Swys has unlocked the running part of her game where that the show and goes and the thing with Libby as well is like she's using the advantage of the fact that she's got Qawe on the outside. I can drop it off to Malinga on the inside. Okay, I can give it to Nadine Roos. So the the exciting thing is like with her is like so now you're saying to yourself like okay cool, we can't just sort of just drop off Libby and like oh because then Qawe can hurt you and Pumba can hurt you. So and my thing is like what it's unlocked their backline is because it kind of felt like you always had sort of the strike runners and Qawe has come through nicely and then Pumba, then you've got obviously Malinga, then you've got Nadine Roos. But now the problem is that we just need someone to unlock that at 10. And I think with Swys now it's so great how they sort of there's almost two ways we can play. The way you play against Brazil, where you got Nadine Roos at 9, so everything's kind of operating in that sort of channel between 9, 10, and the fringes of Hele coming. Whereas now with like Libby, you move Nadine to 15, we can get a bit wider, but we can get a bit wider, and we can be a little bit more direct with with Qawe, and it just showed in the trial, in the next trial as Taylor fights his laptop. It just shows in the next trial. I mean, probably one of the trials of the tournament as well. Probably one of the best set piece moves. I mean, that's Swys de Bruin in a nutshell. I mean, that set piece trial. That's we look at the lines. That's Swys in a nutshell of what he does well.
Yeah, it's 100%. Like I was wrestling with how this thing is because I've seen so many people like it Swys, but the growth that we've done, like we've got the players to do it too, and I think that's what people
Yeah.
forget about. Like we it's almost like the players have been unlocked. Like they've obviously bought into everything, which is the most important thing for any team, but we've also got the skill. A lot of times we were kind of like, we can see there are players with skill and we can potentially do this, but now we're seeing it all come together. So it was literally a case of like just everyone kind of being on the same page and sorting it out. But the way that the Boks executed was huge. Like you mentioned a bit off air about the nerves of closing that game out, which we'll touch on later, but we were executing. We tried that move straight afterwards as well. I can't remember if we got a line break, but so that ball was Hele off the back straight to, it might have been in Ngwevu then. I'm not sure if she was in at 12, but it could be Qawe. And then that inside ball to Roos, and then it was insane, and it just unlocked Italy. That is definitely planned for Italy. I don't think, like, I think we can definitely use it again, but like we were attacking from everywhere. We were attacking from inside and outside, almost every player, and that's what causes the defense to really doubt themselves. You know, if you're not completely tight on defense, you're going to get hurt. And this is coming off. I know Italy took a bit of a beating in the first game against France, but Italy defended exceptionally well against France. So this is what we did to a side that defends well. And because we've just got big runners, we've got speed. Like wherever you look, there's someone that's going to run over you, or there's someone that's going to run around you. And a couple of those players can do both. It was insane. But that set piece try off the back of that scrum was probably the moment that I think everyone was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I hope you're ready. Like, because it's that little step where the players are like, okay, that has worked. Like, we want it to work. There's nothing better than planning something and then delivering on game day. There's nothing better. And then, like, and especially at the time of the game that it was, like, it was quite, it was tough. Like, it wasn't, we were 15-0 ahead. Like, this game was tough for a long period of time. And to have that going, that's a kind, that try, that moment there puts people on notice. It put Italy on notice. It put us like in a different planet in terms of how we approach and see things. And a lot of people we're going to face in the future are going to be probably a little bit more worried about us just from that, because it gave us something quite special. But one of the best first phase set piece tries out.
No, it was one of the best. I mean, like you said, like finding ways to get all our best players to get touched on the ball, a blind side, and it just shows. And my favorite thing is you mentioned the skill set we have, but whoever we play against it still has got to respect our ball carriers. So it opens up so much for someone like Roos. God, Nadine Roos is absolute cookie at the moment as well. She is flying. I mean, she's up there. I mean, with some of the best, one of the best ball runners. I mean, her and Kildan probably absolutely glide on the rugby field. I mean, and I think this is Georgia Miller from Australia, the quickest open side flanker in the world at the moment, who's like,
and the USA number 5,
Yeah.
Sears,
Gerald Casey.
she's blitz.
She's ridiculous.
She's a 15 wearing a number 5. Like, they've just rubbed the 1 off there and just been like, cool, just go stand in here.
No,
But Kooks, you know, Nadine Roos is interesting because I don't think we've completely unlocked her yet. That's the thing. Like, 9 is not her first choice position, and she seems to be playing better at 9 this tournament. When she went back to 9 in this game, there were some nerves. So there is that integration sort of timing thing. 15, I always thought 15 is definitely her best position, but I feel like we were using her probably not at the right time or in the wrong space at 15, where she shifts into 10. I think she probably could do a job a little bit outside of 10 because she was getting eaten. And whether that was just there were no runners to play or she was just holding on too long, trying to wait for something, she got crunched coming in at 10 when she was playing at fullback. And then, but nine is such a great option because, and especially towards the end of the game when you're up against tied legs, like that's literally the last thing you want. So I think we'll be seeing a little bit more of her at 15 at 9 because I thought Tosse started. I thought she was very good at 9. Like we've got proper options. Like we've got options everywhere, and that's what I think is flippin' wild because we've gone in 3 years. The last World Cup was 3 years ago, not 4 in New Zealand, I think. We've gone in 3 years. We've gone to having a side that can be competitive for 50 minutes, but ultimately falls away to naming someone on the bench and you're like, well, she could probably start. Like it feels a little bit hard done by. And we completely moved our backline around in the second half. Like we changed our 12, 13 and 14 because we moved Mpufa to the wing and put Webb at 13 and Nguevu at 12. Like we've made so many changes. We changed everyone in that backline except 10 and 11.
Yeah.
That's huge. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of, or just that extra layer of depth, and obviously just investing in the Curry Cup and some of the women getting opportunities overseas as well is now starting to bear fruit. That there is, yeah, like you said, maybe there was a 15-man team that could do it for 30 minutes, but now there's a 23-man or 23-woman team that is able to sustain an effort against one of the better teams in the world for 80 minutes. Look, yeah, Italy, I think the other thing is just realizing with Italy making 213 tackles, they are making tackles against some big ladies. And it's Mpachula who had 14 carries and she scored the winning try. It's Mpupa that's had 10 carries. She's also a big carrier. It's Latsha with 10 carries. It's Libbie, who's, like we talked about earlier, who's big for a fly half with 9 carries. It's Hele with a devastating 9 carries. So, like, if we are able to control the ball, just because of that size difference, it's going to be interesting with France because I think France is probably the one team that has as good of a forward pack as South Africa does. But we can start looking forward in a little bit, if we face either New Zealand or Ireland. But that might be kind of the way. Obviously, it's a bit more difficult to control the ball against, a team as experienced as the Black Ferns or as good as Ireland. But you can grind a team down if you making them have to make like 150 to 200 tackles, and it's these big ball carriers that gets tiring. So that'll be very interesting.
If we play Ireland in the quarterfinals, we'll win.
Wow.
We can beat Ireland.
I think so as well.
We can beat Ireland. Ireland are they'll be on a little bit of a high, but we can absolutely grind them down and we can absolutely beat them.
Yeah. I refuse to pass judgment until Ify Wafer plays. I think she'll probably come back in the New Zealand game if she's fully fit. If she's fully fit, then it's a very difficult game. But if it's without her, there's a chance. And that's a crazy thing to even look forward to for now. But that'll be very interesting. Italy did come back. It wasn't all great stuff for South Africa. It became 24-24. And I guess Kooks, just on the negatives, if you can call it a negative, Italy's still a great team, so it's not like we can expect to have all the running. But, in terms of, 22-meter entries, Italy got 3.4 points per entry. And, the defense is something that South Africa will have to tighten up on going forward. I think some of the tries obviously are just multiple phases. You break a defense down, the gaps start opening up. With the line-out try, for example, that the Italy number 8 scored, it's just, okay, we have to be aware and awake to some of these things.
Yeah, 100%. It's just a little bit soft and things like that. Even that first try, like the overlap days, you think yourself like, it's things like that, or sometimes where these slight lapses we have sometimes, especially against the big sides. And, we saw like in the warm-up games, like even against Canada, we'll would fall asleep for about 10 minutes, and then Asala they score 20 odd points, and then yes, we'll come back and fight, but you're like, oh geez, if only we just didn't fall asleep in moments. I think that's gonna be the hard thing to sort of curb. I mean, obviously, like that's the next step, the next evolution. You look at like the way we close the game out. Obviously, it's still a bit like a lot more frantic than we had to have it. So yeah, I mean, it's still very encouraging. I know I think a lot of people look at the score against Italy and France, which was 24-0, and look at our score. But I still think that as good as a test match that was, we were the better side. And we put a performance in, and it still gives me a lot of confidence. But now going into Sunday, we can't have those lapses against France, because the France side will score, 20 to 30 points. And I think that's the hard thing with this Rugby Women's World Cup, which you kind of see now, because like when the sides fall asleep, that the bigger sides punish you, and more so you probably see like in the men's game where you get punished quickly, you find yourself easy conceding 3 or 4 tries in a quick turnaround time, and then you sort of then you have your back against the wall. So I think that's something the coaches will be looking at this week, is obviously showing up defensively. Like Thala, you mentioned, pack versus pack is going to be a good fight, so it's going to be a good battle. So yeah, I just think if you sort that out, those slight little lapses on D, that's what we kind of need to sort out and fix.
Yeah. The soft moments mustn't cost us 14 points. It must cost us maybe 3 or 6 or 7 at least. And then like that's the difference between like when a side becomes more and more consistent and really good. I think that's where they get to it. And guys, last sort of 20 minutes, Shaun, I mean, yeah, that's when it started getting crazy. I mean, Italy then leveled up at some stage, and then I think our last 2 tries were just, going sort of through the forwards, like pick up and go, like when we got close to the line and finally getting through. The 4th try for us was, or the final try was scored by Mkachula, and then before that, Solonsi had a relatively similar try, sort of going pick up and goes. Then I think we mentioned it earlier, like the last few minutes after that, they became a bit chaotic.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and I think this goes to that nerves conversation. I thought defensively, Eloise Webb, when she came on, she was, it's almost like she only came on to just smoke people on defense. She was constantly communicating. She was getting stuck in everything. I think she made more dominant tackles than anyone in the game. We made 11 in total. I think Webb made 4. And Italy only made 3. But like I thought she was so good. The option of moving Mpufa to wing was also pretty handy. We might have lost a little bit of pace, but defensively, I think we were pretty decent there. Italy were getting us on the edges. Like that was their whole plan, and we spoke about it as well. Like I think everyone spoke about it. Like it was our massive forward pack against their wild back line. And once they got to the edge, the thing is they were scrambling because they knew they had to get around the side of us, and then their plan was then to go and score. But we managed to kind of scramble well enough. We managed to just kind of get by in times and didn't concede too much. That last little bit, I'd really like to see us just balance that out a little bit. Like there were a lot of nerves. Like there's a lot of like 5 or 6 people standing at the ruck, and then someone's bending to pick and go. Like you're kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Like I can't really see it. It didn't really look like it was kind of sort of pods and setups. We looked like we were kind of encroaching the line a little bit. We were super effective when we were carrying with our forwards though. So that's the one thing. Like if we can just clean that up a little bit, I think we would do well. Like we can go literally all the way to the line 3 meters at a time. I don't really care. But what we also have is with Qawe and with Ngwevu, we have 2 really big, hard carrying 12s, and we've spoken about Libbie. And then you've got the likes of Dolphin and Roos that could be options. Like we have the ability to give it a little bit of width during that time when we've sucked in all the forwards, but our whole team converges in like a 5 meter space. So it really negates the defense don't really need to defend wide. And that's also because we have our big carriers, the backs and the forwards are kind of in there to pick and drive. It's almost like something that we've got to bail us out of trouble or get us to eat meters. And it works well. I just think if we can just clean it up, that last sort of 10% of it, we'd probably get a few more points. But the nerves of the game and the idea of beating Italy for the first time and with the potential of making the quarterfinals, because obviously we needed France to win, which we were pretty sure would happen, but we needed it to happen first, it does crazy things. You kind of snatch at a few things, but we have got an incredible platform. I mean, we haven't even spoken about Babalwa Latsha yet. Like,
Yeah.
I thought the best game I've seen her play. I've watched her play for in the PWR. I've watched her play for the Springboks. Like, she was cooking. She had like Webb vibes. Like when Webb came on to be like, I'm just going to tackle everything. Latsha was like, I'm going to carry everything hard. I'm going to tackle everything harder. She was there, just an massive performance. And I'll tell you something. I haven't seen her in one team of the team of the week, and I'm pissed off. Just saying. I've seen three 15s and not one have her, and I'm like, no, you guys got it wrong.
To be fair, props. I think props and back three are all having just crazy tournaments. So, like, even when Kooks was talking about like how good Roos is, and she's been fantastic, but it just feels like every team has some back three wizard that's just breaking games open. So, yeah, like it's like almost like the two positions you almost don't want to be, or it's the two positions where if you're good, you're not going to get maybe the credit that you deserve because, like we'll talk about the US and Australia game. In that game, the American props played 80 minutes and they were fantastic. And like just back three players like everywhere, just like sprouting out from everywhere, just scoring ridiculous tries. But yeah, Latsha, I mean, obviously she's a experienced campaigner, obviously a former captain, has been setting the standard for this team for years. So it's just great that she's always been this good. She now has the team around her that's, at her level as well, which is also great.
And she played 70 minutes. That's big. Like that also touches on like we see so many unusual things when we watch the women's, not unusual, we see things that we're not used to. We watch the women's game where we see like front rankers playing like 80 minutes, 70 minutes. It's the norm. And you're like, nah, this doesn't make sense. I'm with you. I'm like, this is what we're here for.
Yeah, no, that is a nice sort of throwback of, okay, you're not going to just play 42 minutes and then be able to go back home. Like, you're going to have to be scrumming and carrying and racking. And, like, that's the thing with the props. A lot of them are getting 10 plus carries a game. A lot of them are getting 10 plus tackles in the game. Like, it's not just, getting the ball and just falling down straight for a ruck. Like, they are actually working as well. And scrumming, usually, as well. I mean, obviously. But, like, Latsha's a dominant scrummer. Like, the English tight heads, whether it's Meal or Burn, they're really good. So, like, they're doing work all over the place. Like, if there's going to be a World Player of the Year that's a prop, it probably will come from the women's game first.
That's a great shout.
Kooks, I know we were talking about it before we recorded, but yeah, Libbie with tapping the ball back in that penalty and then her goal line drop out. I mean, we won and she executed it well at the end, but I think at the time we had our questions.
Jeez, I stressed. Well, the thing is, it was so funny because like the kick for touch, Libbie does so well to sort of to. It reminded me of actually like because Libbie did so well to save it from going to touch, but I think Dolph was the most communication because then it rolls into, then it causes chaos. It reminded me last year when that first test match where James Lowe did so well again. We played Ireland at Loftus where I think we kicked off and then James Lowe did so well going out, but half the side is like sleeping, like, oh crap, shit, you got it. And then we go and Qawe goes and runs in where I think the same thing happened with Libya and Dolph's like, oh shit, like how's it in? And then this chaos ensues where we go from not having a lineup to potentially almost conceding a try, and then the guys to pull off the goal line dropout because you're sitting there like it's a 5 point lead. Okay, penalty is that in the card the other runner. So in your mind you're probably thinking kick it deep, 40 meters, 50 meters. Let's sort of defend our line and hope for a mistake because Italy can't obviously make a mistake. But then we're like, no, we're gonna try this option of just great kick, let it run out, and hopefully it goes out for touch when we win the game because.
Thread the needle.
It's a massive call. I mean, it's a massive kick and a great kick because you get that wrong, it's a scrum, 5 meter scrum. So it's like it's a massive gamble. If you it was straight Italy hand, you sort of defending 15 minutes out. So the fact that it rolled out, but Libbie, listen, please, there's easier ways for like in South Africa. We know our rugby sides and World Cups give us stress, but guys, no, no, no. Like we need like someone to speak to us to us having rugby sides. Like, can we just win games minus the stress? Let's just find easier ways to win World Cup games.
But
That's
you
not
know
the African way.
yeah, you're right. That's not how we operate. But you know the thing is that so very interesting. It was before that where we got the penalty, Kooks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, we've got to take the points. Like, this is a no-brainer. It's 77 minutes played. We take the points. We push it past 7 points. We guarantee the win. I'm busy typing over here. I look up and they're like, penalty. And I was like, for what? And then I saw they were scrumming. I'm like, I've missed a whole path here. I don't know what's going on. Why didn't we kick for poles was my first question. Second, how the hell do we go concede a penalty at scrums of all places in that point? And then, then fast forward, we get back down. I swear I was watching Libbie and she made some pretty big moves to get to where she was. And she kept looking up. And it wasn't like everyone calm down, I'm going to kick the ball. To me, it looked like she was rushing it, not in a bad way. Like she was trying to get that kick quickly because she knew she could do it and she needed there to not be a player. Because, yes, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, her legs must have been shattered. Like, she put in a massive performance. And then to have the control mentally and physically to go and do that under that pressure, shoo.
Yeah, I guess, because I know it's something that was it this I think it's a Bledisloe Cup game when Nick White was asking the ref about like, can I put the goal line dropouts directly to touch or must it bounce first and all that sort of stuff. And like such a skill. And I think Nick White did nail it at that time. But yeah, it's just you know what, I don't really mind that decision. Like I get it. Also, at least at the worst it's 22 meters out, like you can still start defending. But I think putting the ball back in, I think that was the one that probably made me more stressed because I was just like, I feel like the gain from that is so little. Because like we saw, I mean, now Dolph has to sort of deal with now the chasing sort of like Italians, and she has to sort of go one woman alone. Whereas
she had such a good game.
Yeah. And I mean she kicks out conversions and like sort of the backline fluidity now with Roos as well. The reason the Roos thing works is that she can also fill in sort of anywhere in the back three. But yeah, so that's what's just like, I don't think there's a game here. Rather just have the line out. It'll be basically it's his last chance by the time they get to the line out and sort of trust our sort of defense there. But it worked out at the end, even though it caused a lot of stress.
Italy at that point, like they just scored, well, not just, but they scored off a lineout and they had two pretty solid lineouts.
Yeah.
They then stole one or two of ours. And it was at that point in the game, maybe like 10 or 15 minutes before, where they were really starting to sort of breach the gain line. Like that's how I saw it. I totally hear what you're saying, but I'm casting my mind back and I'm like, whoa, I don't know. I don't think we were that. I think we were scrambling big time, and it could have gone either way. But sure, I don't know.
Look, I mean, and that's the thing. Like we're learning to win these games because we've had a lot of close games with the likes of Italy, with Australia because of WXV2. Like I think that's the one big success of the World Cup is showing that the WXV and that format works really well in getting teams that don't have the Six Nations, that don't have the Pac-4 as opportunities. Actually, even the Pac-4, I guess, is part of but it gives those teams opportunities to have those games against teams that are sort of on a similar level or a bit ahead and then can sort of reach out to them. So it's because we've been playing Italy and Scotland and Australia the last few years that we've had some close losses to them, and now we're like, okay, this is how we win these games now. So I think hopefully we get better at this than how it happened the last like 10 or so minutes. But yeah, I think that's a big credit to this game. So yeah, I mean, I think we've mentioned all the stars. I mean, Libbie was player of the match. We've mentioned, I think, yeah, I don't know if there is any other players, Shaun, that I don't know if we've mentioned, but yeah, I think we've mentioned people in the front row. We've mentioned everyone there. Maybe Danielle Lochner, I think, just as someone that just hits rucks and cleans rucks. Like, I think even for a lot of the tries, almost a lot of them that happen, especially the ones in the second half when it was like pick up and goes, she puts herself into rucks and she is sort of doing the dirty sort of like unrecognized work. So I always want to just put a mini shout out for her.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And I mean, we went 6-2, so like it was going to be crazy. I think she never plays a full game,
Yeah.
especially in when it's such high intensity like this, but she also went off a little bit with a niggle. Yeah, Lucknow was brilliant. There there's not a single player, not even the 23, like that doesn't deserve a mention. Like the whole entire squad, because you go through the match day 23 and you're just like, yeah, I remember you, I remember you, I remember you, I remember what you did, I saw you. Like every single player, there were no passengers. There was not a single passenger, man. And yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, also Shaun, I mean, I don't think we mentioned that Ayanda Malinga did a nice tribute to Mapimpi with her score of giving of giving the
That
Italian
was
defender the eyes.
That was 100% Mapimpi eyes as she ran in there. She was even like the little, like the little chest out, like, haha, you can't catch me. I was like, whoop, where have I seen that before? Um, she's quick, eh? I tell you, we
That's a great
are.
runner.
Yeah, we can do really well she actually does quite like to take outside and she does inside as well, which I like because initially I was watching her and she just always seems to kind of shorten her steps and then always go outside. She's got a decent fin and obviously a lot of pace, but she did cut inside a couple times, which I like. I do like to just have wingers. You've got to make your defenders think. But if we can manufacture some space for her, like if you can get I like Mpufa straightening the line, Roos to get the ball, and then Malinga gets it in a little bit of pace on the 50. She's not going to be stopped. Like she's got gas. But I also do want to see her at full tilt just double bounce someone. Just cause.
Kooks, I guess the question is how far can we go? Like,
Oh,
can we beat France and then after that New Zealand or Ireland? Like, how much can Springbok fans dream now?
I mean, obviously, like we're a country of dreamers, and especially now that we're playing with house money, that we've qualified for our first quarterfinal. So, like now, whatever happens from here, I think we to dream as far as we can. I think the big one is obviously you got to beat France, get Ireland in the quarterfinal. I think then from there, also all bets are on. I mean, there'll be. I mean, think about it. If we play the Black Ferns, it'll be the main side taking on the All Blacks, and then us taking on the Black Ferns women's side next week. So it's a bumper weekend in terms of our rivalry. But um, I don't want the Black Ferns. I feel like they haven't. I feel like even the coaches have said they've probably just scratched the surface of where they want to be. I mean, they're starting to cook as well. So. I mean, I think the dream is on. I think France turns to another one. I think the nice thing is going into the France game is we're in the quarterfinals already. So
Yeah.
we're playing with house money, like I said. So our campaign is already a success. So I mean, if you're going to France, put a performance without having to lose, you get Ireland, and then I think for both sides, then a World Cup semi-final is probably they're both playing for a little bit of history, and I think obviously it'll do wonders for a rivalry against the Irish if we meet them in the quarterfinal. And for the Irish, it's like even if you beat them in the quarterfinal, getting those jokes on the men's and the women's side, it will haunt them. So. Tell her we can dream. Like, that's a nice thing now is all we can do is actually dream, because whatever we do now is a bonus. Everything we do now is
Yeah.
it's it's incredible. So like, I'm hoping. I got a sneaky feeling against France this week. I don't know what it is. It's just my gut telling me, like you just never know. Like it's like other stars aligning, just everything falling into place. So, but it'll take a massive performance, and I think that's gonna be the big one.
Yeah. Look, I think Okay, number one, Ireland has made a semi-final, and they've made a
It
semi-final in the Women's World Cup.
doesn't count because there were no quarterfinals. This is
Yeah.
it was straight to knockout.
It's
So
like
they have always lost their first knockout game.
I really tried, Ireland. You heard me. I tried. I tried to find a way for you.
Don't ever let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Yeah. Look, and France, yeah, they haven't been at their best, but that we also know that doesn't really mean much for any French team in any sport. And obviously, Pauline Baudon, Sansus is now back in the team after suspension. So yeah, it's probably a different France team to the one that played against Italy. But yeah, why not? We played them pretty well 3 years ago as well. We're competitive for about 30 or so minutes. Obviously, we're better. Maybe they're not as good as they were 3 years ago. So yeah, let's see. Let's go through the other games. I mean, it was a crackerjack weekend in the Rugby World Cup. I think I'll stop and search sort of the games. But yeah, Canada beat Wales 42 points to 0. Wales rugby right now, goodness. I mean, yeah, like now obviously vibes are horribly down even with the women's team. It sounds like their coach Shaun he's a great coach. I think he's won a lot with Gloucester before this. But yeah, people are criticizing him for kind of almost like throwing the players under the bus with some of his comments, like, he's saying the players need to do better. So like and obviously all the stuff that's happening with the men's team and the clubs, like, yeah, vibes are not great there with Wales. Yeah, that Wales-Fiji game, Fiji could do something there, actually. And obviously Canada now qualify. Scotland beat Fiji 29 points to 15. Shaun, we were talking about it earlier. I mean, that was also probably a potential game of the weekend, game of the World Cup so far. I mean, it wasn't easy going for Scotland. At certain points, it looked like Fiji was maybe had enough to spring an upset. Fiji scored some crazy tries, especially the try from their loose head prop, but also Scotland gave it as good as they got as well. I mean, Evie Gallagher with 36 tackles, which is, well, I think it's now 35 tackles. Fran McGee, I think she's my favorite, or one of my favorite players from this World Cup so far.
Yeah, with 20 minutes to go before the red and the yellow, this was comfortably the game of the tournament for me. Little did we know we had a whole bunch more coming, but what a cracking game. There's been some really good stuff to watch. Like that's the best part about it. It's been so great to watch. There are a whole whack of players that are like when we watch whether it's the Women's Six Nations or any WXVs or any sort of PWR or anything like that coming forward, like there'll be players that we recognize, and that's because this tournament's been flipping outstanding. But yeah, the Gallagher on first count, 36 tackles completed. 36 tackles on first count. So what's it, 35 or 34 now, whatever, it's above 30. That is box office. And considering like the game was tight. It doesn't look like it, but that game probably, I'm thinking with about only maybe 15, 18 minutes to go, did Scotland really kind of secure it?
Yeah.
Even then, like if Fiji had scored quickly, then you're like, oh, we're straight back in it. So those were important tackles, and what a performance. I mean, flip.
Yeah. I mean, Scotland, it's so funny how you can see similarities between the men and the women. Scotland 6 to 15 are a fantastic team. Like Rachel Malcolm made 25 tackles herself. Like that loose trio was working, and their backline is absolutely great with attacking ball. But yeah, I think that's probably the wrong type of game to play against this Fijiana team who are, I mean, if you give them space, if you allow them to build phases, their reserve, I think she played center mostly, but she was sort of floating. Nailolo. I don't know what happened to her in Scotland, or maybe her forefathers or whatever, but she was just running with such like anger anytime like she got the ball and she had some space. And basically Fiji was just once in the second half they got comfortable, got the ball wide, got their sort of good players into one-on-one situations, and they just cooked. So yeah, that was just a really good game. Scotland versus Canada will decide the pool. Probably Canada are favorites there, but I mean, sure, yeah, Fiji, they should be a bit disappointed if they don't win against Wales, like just judging by how things have gone the last few weeks.
Yeah, that red card it'll probably be a suspension. So that's
Yeah.
and
Not sure if it
that's
was a red for me, but yeah.
yeah, it was a little bit touch and go. I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to find it out. I was meant to find it out before, but the women's game is a lot quicker in terms of stoppages. Like from when the game starts to when the game finishes, it's a lot faster than us. There's like less sort of breaks in play and all that. Um, but yeah, Fiji really. I think you're right. I think if Fiji don't beat Wales, I think they're gonna really feel like they dropped the ball. But it's crazy, hey. Like they just got really tall, athletic players that it's kind of like they just put their hand in a pile and then take out a jersey. Like, oh, I'm playing fullback today. Awesome. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. And then we go to the next game. Then it's England. They beat Samoa 92 points to 3. I think Jess Breach scored her 50th international try as well. So congratulations to her. I mean,
52 now because she scored three.
but yeah, I mean, the only story I want to talk about is Samoa scoring their first points in the Rugby World Cup
Oh,
and how they celebrated for that.
that's the moment of the weekend. Besides with obviously with Springbok women's, I mean, I love that. I loved how incredible it was. I mean, their first ever World Cup point and Brazil getting their first ever try. That's what makes these things so special. Like Sharky mentioned, like that's the beauty of it. Obviously you get some sour oaks on Twitter, like, oh, why are people? So I'm like, let people have fun. Like let people score their first ever point and do it against England, and it still shows how. That's so much shows how the way the game is going. Like, you get a game like that, and not even talking about the result, you're talking about moments like that, which is one from the World Cup, which is why I think the Women's World Cup and like women's rugby in general is in a good space because of, like Charlie mentioned, the good vibes around it. I mean, that was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's a celebration of rugby, which is what it should always be. So yeah, I think the vibes from that were great. England, yeah, they're just marching on. They play Australia next. We actually, speaking of, I think probably another competitor for game of the World Cup so far was the USA Australia game. That ends 31-31, a draw, an insane game. I mean, just on the conversions alone. So you had a conversion that was timed out for the US. You had a conversion that hit both posts for the US as well. You know, Australia, the scrum off, she was kicking so well. Then the last conversion to pretty much win the game, she misses that one. You had Ilona Malik making 3 turnovers. You had the still 18-year-old fullback for Australia, Caitlyn Halse, like just bossing the game, sort of doing the "Are you not entertained" celebration. Like, yeah, Sean, I don't even know where to start with this game. Like, Australia was, I think Australia should be the more disappointed team to not win this. But I mean, USA came back really well as well. So I think, yeah, they could also be like equally disappointed.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you kind of had to look at the lead up and how everything's going, I think this is a great result for the USA. And the irony is they could have gone on to win it. It was huge. Hulse is amazing. And also the fullback for the Black Ferns is also 18. Like there's a whole bunch of youngsters coming through that are just freaking cooking at
Where
the
are these
moment.
kids coming from? Jeez.
Yeah, we've been hiding them like the women's game away, and now they're just unleashing them all in one tournament. But yeah, what an unbelievable game. I was super happy. I know I spoke a little bit about Ma last week and just said, listen, like she needs to manage how she defends and everything. I'm quite happy that she stays at 13 now. Like she's just such a machine on the carry. She's got I love because of her sevens background, like she really fills in at 9 comfortably. She can fill in at 10 comfortably. She's got like a pilfer game. It's so good. But yeah, Gerald Ceci again, what a legend. I can't believe she's playing 5. Like she's like an open side, blind side flanker hybrid. You can stick her at 13 maybe. Like you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But what a cracking game. Like it was outstanding. Um, just it. I was thinking that it was advantage USA, but it looks like if if Australia lose to England and don't get a bonus point, then the USA need to win with a bonus point, but then need to make up like 156 points.
135 points difference.
135. So, like, if England go and absolutely pump Australia, and then USA go on to win, I can't remember who they're playing, but they're playing someone like Samoa. They could probably win well. Like, it'll be a little bit of mental gymnastics to make it happen. But I think Australia are all going to be about being competitive against England, but getting those 4 tries, because it pretty much seals it then. So I think the USA let this one slip, but what a freaking game.
Yeah, I mean, so that's basically the situation. USA does play first, so at least Australia will know what they need to do to sort of to get through. So yeah, number one, Australia just needs to get a bonus point. Number two, if they don't get a bonus point, it's 135 points that they're playing with. So if, for example, the USA beat Samoa 90 points, then Australia can't lose by more than 45 points. And the problem is, because obviously the disparity in the world rugby, England is good enough to beat Australia by 50 points. USA is good enough to beat Samoa by 70, 80 points. So like this is possible, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, Australia have the attack, and like their backline is really good. I mean, the winger, Desiree Miller.
Daisy Miller, she's
she was fantastic
freaking
when she got
pocket.
opportunities.
Yeah, pocket rocket. She must be. She could be the fastest winger at the tournament. Like, she's faster than Malinga. She's faster than Kildan, I think. She's ridiculous. They give her ball, and I mean, she only looks like 5 foot as well. She really does. She's not tall. Like, they give her the ball and there's a little bit of space, and she's at the line already. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I think through Halse, through Miller, I mean, that's 2 tries already. So just get to 4 tries, you're in. So yeah, I think that'll be a very interesting last weekend to watch out for. I mean, yeah, like I think I said earlier, but big shout out to the USA props. Hope Rogers, Sagapolu as well for on the tight head. Like they carried, I think combined, they carried 37 times. And yeah, like they made 18 tackles together. Like they were just doing so much for the attack. So yeah, it was an epic game. It was back and forth. It was tense. Some really great moments of quality, some crazy moments as well. Yeah, I think the player I have like a irrational beef with is Mackenzie Hawkins, the USA fly half, because some of the kicks that she's doing, like just her kicking out for touch for penalties, and then it goes out like 6 meters down the field. I know there's quite a bit of wind in York in the game, but I was just like, no man, like surely someone that could do better than this. So
I was watching that, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and then she kicks and the ball goes off her boots, and in my head I'm just like, you probably wanted more. I'm just like, you probably wanted more, even if it was a meter. Just want a little bit more. But then listen, how many times like Andre Pollard misses touch? You're like, bro, just less. Just get it out.
At least it's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then yeah, Sunday's game. So Ireland beats Spain 43-27. Yeah, not a fully convincing game from like what I've seen in the reports. Like, yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it earlier. Like Ireland's not hitting like they're not hitting at all cylinders yet. On the opposite side, the Black Ferns, they win 62 points to 19. Obviously, the big game next weekend is New Zealand Ireland. And then France beats Brazil 84 points to 5. And again, Kooks a moment now. I mean, this was a lot better than the Samoa moment, because the Brazil try was insane.
Yeah,
like, that sort of counterattack.
Listen, if you're gonna score your first World Cup try, that's how you do it. Like if
it was a full-on backwards dummy. It was like, here, have this. No ways.
Yeah. No, it was brilliant. I mean, they've also been fantastic. I'm just glad, like, we had these moments. Obviously, they expanded the World Cup, but if you're Brazil, like, if you're gonna do it, like, you're doing the style, like, yeah, let's put ourselves up for a try of the tournament for our first ever World Cup try. Tough when they score their second try in with a pick and go.
Yeah, like this is the way to make your mark here. I mean, Squid Rugby's been talking about like there's always 2 teams that win a World Cup, the actual World Cup winners and the team that gets everyone's hearts. It's a close competition between Brazil, Spain, Fiji. I don't know if we're now too good for that second World Cup with the Bok women's team. So yeah, I think those three are sort of vying for that like feel good story of the tournament. Yeah, I think yeah, so lots to look forward to. Saturday, mark down that USA versus Samoa game in the afternoon. Then the evening at 6 o'clock, it's England versus Australia. Before that, also Wales versus Fiji. Yeah, another small complaint is I don't know why these games have to clash. Like, can we not spread these games out? Because I think the USA and the Fiji games, they and the Canada Scotland games all overlap each other. And I think on Sunday, I think we overlap with the New Zealand Ireland game. Like, why?
I have a confession to make. I missed Aseza Hele's try live because I was still watching. I can't even remember who it was. I
Yeah.
was still watching the other game. I'm like, oh, we're playing afterwards. Like I specifically didn't watch the build up because I was watching another game, and then I looked at the time. I was like, oh my word! And I click over, and we're kicking. I was like, well, what have I missed? I was angry, man. I was angry.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like just either do a Friday game or just do 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, six
Yeah,
o'clock, 9 o'clock. Like it worked well this weekend.
It's not like they have 12 games in the day. Like
Yeah.
they have more than enough time to space everyone out, give them their own.
especially like you look at this weekend, for example, there's no football, it's international breaks, there's no football in England. So for example, like spread the wealth out and then you can get more people at stadiums and get more people watching games and by spreading it out. Now you're like half the people want to watch this game must split because their team is playing this time. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a World Rugby tournament if we didn't have something to complain about, to be fair.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, I mean, a lot to look forward to. I don't know if yeah, maybe I'll sort of do small predictions. Cooks between USA and Australia, who's going to go through?
Australia.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, I would love it for it to be USA, but yeah, I mean, that will be a crazy story. So let's see. And then,
USA are good enough if they go through, they're good enough to put up a shout. Like that's
yeah,
the one thing. Doesn't matter which of the two go through, they're going to be competitive in the quarterfinals. So
yeah.
it doesn't really matter. But I think
So
Australia have got the inside track.
yeah, they'll probably face Canada. And I know USA, I mean, they haven't really beaten Canada in a while, but they always give Canada a game. Obviously, it's like a close rivalry and everything. So I think that'll actually be a nice sort of spicy competitive game I feel like USA Australia could be, I mean, Canada versus Australia in a quarterfinal could be a bit more of like a 30-40 points type of game. So let's see. And Australia also plays in quite often with the pack four. Um, Cooks, New Zealand, Ireland.
New Zealand.
By like 30.
Yeah. Thala,
Yeah.
all roads are leading to, I mean, it's going to be France. So all roads are leading to England Springbok final, eh?
Hey, let's
Yeah.
go. Twickenham, here we come.
This country will implode if we make the final.
Like, yeah, I cannot even imagine what the vibes will be if that happens. So,
Everyone is unprepared. Like, not even Supersport is prepared for us to make the final. Like, we'll have to create fan parks and stuff all of a sudden.
yeah. Look, yeah, I mean, whatever happens, yeah, like you said, I would prefer to play Ireland than New Zealand, obviously. So yeah, we mustn't now, yeah, like Ireland mustn't spring a surprise, and then we decide to also spring a surprise against France. Like I think the game, actually, we're the last game on Sunday. So whatever happens there, we must just be like, oh, all 15 of our players have, like ate some bad sushi. We're gonna just play the bench players now.
Susie.
Susie can make a reappearance there. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we're all predicting the Springboks to beat France. So yeah, lots to look forward to. We've got a few minutes just to discuss what's happening in the men's side. The Rugby Championship is back this weekend. It'll be a nice little um, sort of breakfast to start off the day. Cooks, are you aware of the starting time for the Australia-Argentina game?
I am. This is bullshit. Because Australia, you know, we praised it for being great again. No, I'm over them now. Like, they must go back to when rugby was the eighth ranked choice sport. But the game at 12 in the evening for the people. We're going to go box. Then we're gonna go, Australia. Now we're gonna wake up at 5 in the morning, whatever stupid time the game is, like because they want to play in the afternoon, and like, oh man, no, Australia, like this one deserve good things. This is why I want the Lions to win 3-0. This is why I didn't want them to win the last test. Now they've beaten us. Now they're all these great spirit. I need Argentina to win both these test matches. That's what I do. Make us wake up so early. Like, you know what? The problem is we got excited to play. It's actually our fault as fans because normally, like when it's Springboks versus All Blacks, that's all the attention. And we go like, oh God, can you believe it's Argentina versus and the Wallabies next? But this time we're like, oh, we can't wait to see this match. No, so fuck us basically for being excited for them. I'm not looking forward to watching this match. I hope that it's a 3-3 draw for all the people for them for making us wake up. I want it to be so bad that the Prime Minister is going to be like, "God, I think rugby union needs to figure itself out." How are we
And you can't have Marky Mark back. He stays in league.
Yeah, how are we gonna get people into the stadiums in 2 years' time if you're playing rugby like this? That's exactly what I want to happen. I want Argentina to win on Saturday, then to win next week, and then to put them in disarray again. That's what I want.
Followed by Monday where SA Rugby are like, hey guys, we're offering to host the Rugby World Cup for you, like they did during the Lions tour. Remember, they're like, we'll host the Lions tour. You guys can both come here and play in Australia, but we'll just be like, it's cool. We'll take the World Cup, buddy.
Oh man, I just like, obviously for the Wallaby fans, stupid. No one wants to watch test rugby in the afternoon anyway. Stupid Wallaby fans. They're not. Like you always do. It's like the Boks come in and be like, hey guys, tomorrow we decided we like play Argentina 11 because you want to celebrate Derby Day. It's like, no, just fucking play at 5 o'clock. Like you do all the time. At 5 every time at home. Like Australia want to bring back the 90s feel. Who cares what the 90s feel? Play at 12 o'clock we can watch at a normal time.
Yeah. The crazy thing is this weekend's games at 6:30 a.m. Next weekend's game starts at 6 a.m. So like it moves 30 minutes earlier. That's so arbitrary.
They don't care about us, these guys. This is what the World Cup must be the last time it goes to Australia. Last time. No. Josh must quit now. Like everything good needs to disappear from Australian rugby.
And the Wallaroos can also get their 135 points difference be reversed this weekend as well then. Also just warning for Kooks and other like-minded people. The first Bledisloe Cup game, 27th of September, New Zealand versus Australia, Eden Park, starts at 7. I don't know why. I don't know who. It starts at 7 a.m.
This is why this fucking record is going away this weekend. Because New Zealand is we have a whole pod about we break down the game. No, we actually need a pod. All of us are gonna lose this weekend because they're doing this funny stuff. Play at 9 o'clock in the morning. You do this funny stuff for the Bledisloe Cup game. It won't even mean anything. The ones that played in North Harbour Stadium because now they'll start a new streak. This is what they're gonna lose this weekend. They're doing all this funny stuff. Want to play games at 7 o'clock at Eden Park. Play kick off at 9. Like
why are they playing it 2 hours earlier? That just makes no sense. At sunset, they want a sunset game.
Sunset game at Eden Park. You see, you almost become too woke. I've become too woke. Sunset games, New Zealand's playing. Imagine sunset games. Like, fucking play at night. Win the game. Go home. They want to play sunset rugby. Oh, guys, the Boks are winning this weekend. That's all I need to know. Thala, thank you you've made my whole week. Boks are winning. That's all I need to hear. All are too woke. Sunset kickoffs. Fucking hell. Why would you want a sunset kickoff in New Zealand? Did you what? Like, what you looking at? The sunset while sheep blaring in the corner, haka on the left. Like, what's going on in New Zealand? Because there's something happening.
I blame the Stormers for this. Didn't they have that whole like Sundowners December like rugby games or whatever in the summer?
Exactly. That's why the Stormers are stop kicking the ball now. The December stuff has not been great for them.
Oh, my face.
Yeah. So please get your Ultimate Rugby app, get whatever apps that you need, your SuperSport app, just to make sure you know what time these games are starting. Don't just assume it's 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock like we are used to. New Zealand, Australia doing some funny things with their kickoff times.
Well, that's the problem now. Because now you assume, because we know people, now you're like, now every time we've checked every week what time kickoff is, because one Australia wants to play when I bring back these afternoon games and flipping the All Blacks want to have sunset kickoff. Oh, All Blacks become too woke. It's because of Razor. You suddenly get a coach who spends more time surfing than actually coaching rugby. So that happens. You bring also guys who want to surf. I don't want sunsets and No, they bring Wayne Smith's back. Now it's too late. Wayne Smith, it's too late, buddy. You guys are come too woke. Because you can't bring back, you can't out-coach wokeness. You can't. You cannot. You can bring back Steve Hansen. It's too late, Tyler. We are winning on Saturday. And then whatever happens against in Hamilton or wherever you play next week, it doesn't matter. We've got a job to do this weekend. Fluff's back. I told you. The team bringing the band back from 2009.
You really are bringing back the 2019 World Cup team here.
Pimpy's ready to go. Woke. New Zealand's woke. What a week.
Yeah, I did not think the rugby bits utter work nonsense rant would be about kickoff time. So that was something that I didn't reckon on. But yeah, like
And about the All Blacks out of all the people.
Out of all teams as well. Shaun, yeah, so Faf is back. I don't know if the strategy really is let's just play the team from 2018 and just see if it works again.
Yeah, it's I don't even know where. My face is so sore from laughing. I don't really know what to do. It's whatever Cook said, I'm in.
How's Kitty's neck? Kitty's like, can you give us 20?
Tendai Tawarera, I'm sure he's still fit. I'm sure he can still do a job for us.
That guy looks like he could still scrum for another 30 years. He looks in good condition.
Well, to be fair, Oaks, if you're in New Zealand right now and you can play and you can pass the ball about 10 meters, you might get a chance to become an All Black scrum half on the weekend.
Jeez.
Justin Marshall.
Yo.
Justin Marshall would be a sensational recall. He'd just be like chirping everyone the whole time. Like, I told you this is how we do it. Whoop.
Yeah, so New Zealand have a bit of a injury crisis. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's confirmed now for Roygaard and Ratama not available.
Yeah.
Roygaard out, Ratama being monitored for a head knock, so it's very unlikely.
As injury cover, saw that.
Yeah. And Lester Fanganuku's been called up because they've lost Leonard Brown and that other. But he was a 12 though. That other guy, that guy that just got capped.
Not Tupai.
No, that beast.
Oh, Tava Nawai.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah, I think he's out for the rest of.
Yes, so Leicester could start at 13 or bench. I mean, listen, there's no doubt about it. He's going to be the next All Black 13 because, I rate him. But they're scrambling, man. They're scrambling for wingers. Caleb Clark's not available. Rico's having the worst season of his life, which was nigh on impossible compared to his last few seasons. That's a bit harsh, but yeah.
Yeah. On the Australian side, and the Argentinian side, so obviously the big, I think, news for Argentina is that Albanaz doesn't come back. He's not in this tour, so this will be time for Carreras to probably play at 10. At least for Australia, they do get one of their 10s back. So Tom Liner's now back, which means our Ben Donaldson it's his turn to become injured. It'll be interesting to see what Schmidt does at 10 and 15. If Liner comes back straight to 10, at 15 is a Kellaway, is a Swali'i, or maybe it's James O'Connor, or is James O'Connor going to be the sort of utility player? So, yeah, this game, I mean, I know Kooks won't watch because he's protesting, but this game I think could be very interesting, Shaun.
Yeah, it will be. You remind me about Kooks now. Like,
I'll watch. It depends.
I'm definitely going to get up. I'm definitely getting up to watch because the Ramphilly Shield is being played just a little bit before that.
Yeah,
so I'll start a little bit. I'll be bouncing between the two depending on who delivers. But it could be a good game, this Wallaby Argentina. It could be potentially with a couple cups of coffee. Or Kooks, are you going to be straight on the beers just to numb the pain?
I'm working this weekend, so to be fair, the podcast kicks off at 9. And we normally get to work at like an hour. I think I gotta be at Spur at like 7 in the morning. So I might.
Oh my gosh! Really?
Yeah, I got an early call time. So
Cheddar even open at 7.
Cheddar Melt burger for breakfast is the answer to life.
Yeah, so I'll be at Spur this weekend, so pretty much I'm actually I'll be with I'll be with the Wallaby fans, so I might as well just watch rugby. My worry is that
I hope you walk into a table of 50 expats sitting there in their Wallaby jerseys. Kooks, come join us. We want to have a quick chat.
my worry is that if the Springboks win, it's going to be probably the biggest Saturday in South Africa long, because it's not like soccer just track. Boxing in the game is like 11:30. Like what looks like me celebrating from 11:30 until like the whole day. Then some selfish prick's gonna make us be like, hey guys, don't forget my birthday party's at 4 o'clock. You know, like someone will be like, just like, momentum. I already know that someone's wife was telling their husband, like, don't forget we're going to Jenny's houses for a bride 5 o'clock because the game's only at 11, only at 9. Like, someone's going to be dragged away. There's going to be weddings, divorce rates going to skyrocket because Oaks going to stay at the bar from 9 in the morning until 9 in the evening. Give me one of those days.
Look, this is a tactical weekend. Saturday morning Bok game, Sunday afternoon Bok game. You need to now give either Sunday morning or Saturday evening. Like,
no, Sunday morning. Sunday morning. It was Saturday evening. There's no ways. You can't give up. A Bok day lasts 24 hours. So it's not awful. They're playing in New Zealand. My day's going to end when, like, my day ends when I feel like it ending.
You can rewatch it at 5 o'clock to relive it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think let's end off here, guys. Thank you so much for this Rugby Biz podcast. We'll try to have one late in the week when both teams come out for the South African New Zealand game, but you've already heard Cooks' prediction or spoiler about what's happening this weekend. So we'll look at the teams, or we'll preview that. And thank you so much. So please follow us on our social media channels. Please share this podcast either on YouTube or on Spotify. And celebrate this Women's World Cup and the Springbok women's team for their historic achievement as well. Bye-bye.
Yes, guys.
Bye.